Hello there, a very good morning and welcome to another edition of the Talk of the Town. Joining us this morning is a senior lecturer at the Colombo University on International Affairs, George Cooke. Very good morning, George, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
George, Sri Lanka is facing, well, as it always does, allegations from the international community of human rights violations, in this case, a conspiracy to kill their own citizens. Now, we saw back after the 30-year war ended back in 2009, there were allegations of massive human rights violations in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka responded to them, but however, how far that response was successful is questionable because we're still facing allegations, we're still having resolutions passed against us, and we're still having issues regarding that from the international community. Now you see fresh allegations being raised against Sri Lanka on the Easter Sunday attack. Have we responded? Are we responding? How should we respond?
The first thing we've got to get in order is our communication strategy. How we are communicating with the world, how we are communicating with our own people. And when I say we, I'm talking those in positions of power. A government has got to remember that it is there at the discretion of its people. The people are its main support base. The people are the ones who sustain it. You've got to communicate with your own people. Why do you sponsor a resolution? Why do you co-sponsor one? Why do you oppose one? People must know. People must be having ownership of it. Look at the Good Friday Agreement that was signed many decades back. Everyone was given a copy of the Good Friday Agreement, so that they had personal ownership. They might not understand the legality of it. They might not understand the clauses, but you have ownership. It's yours. You have a copy of it. People must be involved in this process of communication. If you leave the public out of it, that is not an effective strategy. Secondly, you must have a strategy of engaging with the world. Let's go back to a video that came out many years ago, which took on a very strong stance against Sri Lanka. Within 1.5 months, we refuted allegations within it. Why did we wait to react? Why weren't we proactive? Why did we make a video beforehand talking about the end of the conflict, talking about what happened, talking about how the people came over, how they were saved, how they were given food, medicine, accommodation? Why don't we talk about that? There was
Because we know all of those happened.
we know all those happened. That was a massive humanitarian operation. Sri Lanka did something amazing at that stage. Instead, it's the accusations that stand because those come out first. We've got to be proactive when it comes to our communication, not wait for others to level the allegations and then respond. We need to be proactive and have a proper communication strategy of telling the world what we're doing long before we have fingers being pointed at us. When we react at that stage, then it's as though we are just reacting to what is being said. We do not have our own communication strategy.
George, one reaction that I saw, at least from government or a minister of government who made a statement in Parliament, was Minister Mahindananda, I believe former Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage. He said, do you really think that 8 Muslim devotees would do something that would benefit one Sinhala national so much? Is that a good response?
Each one is coming out with a different statement. We hear so many different things being said by so many different politicians. But people are discerning. People have some kind of understanding. People are knowledgeable. We are in an era of high-tech technology. We're getting information. We have information at the tip of our fingers. We know what is going on. You can lead people, mislead people, explain to people, hoodwink people. You can do so many things. People are discerning. People understand what is going on. So at the end of the day, it remains to be seen how we take this forward, how we deal with it, how we respond to it. But the polity is maturing. The polity is changing. We are not the country that we were many years ago. We are the oldest democracy in this part of the world, and it's time for us to live up to it, to that label of being the oldest democracy. We've got to mature. Hopefully that maturing is taking place.
Thank you very much, George Cooke, Senior Lecturer at the University of Colombo on International Affairs, for joining us on the Talk of the Town this morning. Thank you very much to all our listeners. It's back to the Morning Fix on Yes 101.